Hello! How you guys doing? So I think Twitch is like being really dumb. I try to like pause auto hosting before I go live, and tells me, well, it says it works, but then like it rehosts because of course it does. How you doing, Jojo? Welcome. Yeah, and right now it's giving me a I'll snip it real quick. Unable to unhost. Try again. Well, I mean, what? Thanks, Twitch. Appreciate it. Flawless website. Just absolutely flawless. Radio manga, which one? Anything good? So today I'm going to continue working on the sound engine stuff. Yeah, the other day I figured out what I was doing wrong, mostly. I found issues and started working through them. I didn't finish working through them, but I figured we can continue that today. Okay. Kimetsu no Yaiba? I'll have to check that out later. Yeah. Drop a link on Discord for me, so I can check it out. Yeah, so what's broken is, I think, the second, I don't know, something's broken. It makes noise when it's not supposed to make noise. It starts making noise when it should start making noise. That's a good thing, but it doesn't like stop when it should, so it's kind of like cancer. So let's pause that real quick and let's see what it does. That is the wrong controller. I need this controller. So it ain't working. Yeah, like at all, and that hurts my ears. Probably hurts yours too. So I'm gonna stop it. So some weird things are going on. Essentially, there's it's going through the volume macro thing correctly at first, and then it repeats itself. It ain't supposed to be doing that. So yeah, we're gonna see why it's doing that, and hopefully we can, you know, smack some sense into it and make it cooperate the way we want it to cooperate. Because that'd be nice, right? That'd be real nice. Yeah, so we're gonna start with, where are we starting? It's gonna be over here. It's gonna be in this somewhere, I think. The volume length stuff. Yeah. Oh, I'm doing like all this wrong. Well, not all of it wrong, but so originally I was ignoring the other channels. So when I put in another channel, like, it broke things. Now, so how you doing? I am writing my own sound engine, but mainly because I want. I really need to understand how it works, like how a sound engine works, and what it needs to take care of and what it needs to keep track of and all that stuff. It ain't gonna be a general purpose engine, that's for sure. It's gonna be specific to my use case here. So it's not gonna have a bunch of things in it, I don't think. Yeah. So I'm working in a test ROM right now. Eventually I will be taking all the stuff out of the test ROM and putting it into the game. But I'm working on it here just to isolate just the sound stuff, not to worry about anything else. That's why there's a green screen right there. I was looking at the one issues. We've come so far from there. First, we have. I was actually just looking at the one of the where is it? Like the demo recording things I grabbed for one of them to like drop on Discord as like, here's what I'm working on kind of thing. Where is that? But it showed an early version of the chat One of the really early versions of the chat is right here. So we've come a long way since this right here. This is what it used to look like. That's what it used to look like. But yeah, it looks a lot better than that now. Looks a lot better than that now. 11 out of 10. Yeah, all right, if you say so. But we're not working on that tonight, though. We're not working on that today. I know I've been working on that for the past few weekends, but we're not going to do that today. We might hit some go later, maybe. I don't know. I kind of doubt it actually, because for a translation script from the export text, which is this stuff coming from this to what's it? Some assembly. I will be using Go for that eventually, but I don't think I'll get to that today. I got to figure out like the MIDI I'm going to be using, whatever the format I'm going to be using. Sandra Guzman, how you doing? Procrastinate too long. Yeah, so I was working on it the other day, and I was able to fix a few things. Like it not giving any sound. So I fixed mostly the first channel, but now that I put the second channel in there, it just broke everything. It broke everything, including the first channel. So yeah, get out of the way. Jeez. Okay. What I'm looking for? I'm looking for the variables and crap. So I don't know why I named it like sound engine and engine. Why not just like sound? I don't know. Okay, pulse and duty volume. So I cannot index this. I can't because I have it. Okay. Because I set that up weird. I might have to organize those in memory so I can index them. Yeah. APU. That's PPU. I want APU, and then the registers right here. Okay. What are the triangle? Triangle has. I have it right here. Duty volume, triangle counter, noise interval. Does triangle not have a volume? Is that what that means? Yeah, I don't have volume. Okay. It has no volume control. Got it. Okay. I think you're underestimating the procrastination ability of some people. Well, this is something that I like. I really want to get finished so I can move on to some other stuff. So I've been working on this runner game for what, 6 months, give or take now, since October. I've been working on it for a long while, and I kind of want to get it out the door so I can start working on the next thing, you know, the next assembly thing. I have a few ideas. Not sure which I'll do yet, but I have a few ideas. Yeah. AK Maffin, how you doing? Finish this console thing with real computers. Commodore. We'll see. Okay, so I think I might have to run each of the channels separately instead of inside a loop here. Because I mean, the only two that are the same are the two pulse channels. So I'm not sure if it's really worth generalizing all 4 channels and you know, handling all the cases for all the channels in a single loop. It might just be better to be like, you know, update pulse 1, update pulse 2, update triangle, update the other one, or run them, not spitting everything out to the registers. Especially the graphics, no computer to worry about. Yeah, what does the Commodore use for graphics? Like, I'm pretty sure the 6502 doesn't render the graphics directly. Yeah, same. I really have to just like sit down and practice, and you know, do the whole study thing for that. That I don't know. It's hard getting motivated for it. The VIC-2 chip. Is that like sprite based, or is it like frame buffer based, or what? Because I have no idea on the architecture for that guy. Okay, that wire cannot be right over my escape key, because I use that a lot. Okay, there we go. 8 hardware sprites. A whole 8. Woo. We can't do of all those sprites. Wait, doesn't Super Mario like have more than 8 sprites on a screen? Well, they're smaller sprites, I suppose. So, yeah, they could probably put the player sprite into a single sprite on the Commodore when it's like 4 on 4 or 6, I forget, on the NES for Super Mario Brothers, for instance. Quote unquote high res. Well, that was high resolution at one point in time, back in the time of yore. All right, so I don't. What's the jump pointer? Jump to new location. Indirect. I can jump indirect. Okay. So I load something into a variable somewhere I can jump to it. Oh. Or I could put a jump table in RAM and use that, right? Well, no, wait a minute. Hang on. No, pointer. You know. I'll take you for so long give false information. Oh yeah, I'll have to. That's some in-depth stuff. I'll have to read that later. All right. So essentially, I want 4 functions here, or 4 blocks of code. One of my I do want to reuse though, because it's going to be for the two pulse channels, right? Well, I mean, this is the let's just call this the pulse loop. Pulse loop. Easy to reuse. Yeah, easy to reuse the 6502 code, but there's a lot of NES specific stuff. For instance, this game here, its collision detection is based on the tiles, like the rows and columns of the tiles. So I'd have to completely revamp the collision code. Yeah, a lot of it, and I'd probably have to revamp the meta tile code as well, and how I handle that. So we'll see, though. We'll see. We'll see. It's certainly on my radar. That's for sure. Loop next. Don't need to do that at the end. Yeah. Ow. Okay. I'm gonna just take this out. There we go. Pulse to volume. So this right here is where things are going wrong. So they're in this order for writing them to the APU, right? So if I write sound buffers, I start at do volume 1, which is this guy right here, and I just index the APU registers, use the same index for both, and blast through all of them, right? So if I change the order of this stuff to make this loop down here easier, I make this loop up here harder. Lose. Pulsal. That's a 1. That's a 1. Pulse 1. That's actually the number 1. Hair down. Woo! How you doing, Mad Genius? Welcome. Well, I can... You know what? You know what I can do is I can load up 2 pointers to variables, right? Or a few pointers to variables, I suppose. Which is the more expensive loop? I mean, see, I don't know yet. It might be better to make this one easier. Because this one here, I can just unroll. Like, I completely unroll this one. It's just load variable into load A from a variable, store it into a register, and then just do that a bunch of times, right? Yeah. I guess it's more of a coding readability thing. Yeah. So this one right here happens after. Well, in the NMI, but after all the draws happen, right? So that syncs the sound updates. This is what actually writes to the APU. Down here is figuring out what it needs to be written to the APU, right? So this happens during the frame. Yeah. So I think, you know what? I think I'll unroll this here. Yeah, and this isn't even really, well, it's kind of correct. Well, no, that is correct. I'm only writing the 2 pulse channels. All right, so I'm only writing these variables to the APU. All right. Yeah. Limited hardware surprise readability with the west side. Yeah. It depends. It depends, because there can be things that are readable and efficient. So one example of that I can use. If I open up, where is it? This one here. The one I'm thinking of is writing the palettes. So this, or let's start with the other one. Utils, I think. Okay, so on the right, I have loading palettes, right? So this is actually more complicated than normal. This only loads up 4 bytes into the palette RAM, right? This right here loads up all the palettes. So it loads 8 total palettes into RAM from ROM somewhere. But this is loading up from, you know, a pointer, and it's storing to RAM, and this one's going backwards, this one's going forwards, kind of thing. So there's 2 different counters. It's comparing to a number. It's comparing Y to a number. It's fairly expensive, honestly. But the other side of that, when we write to the PPU, we need to be really, really fast, right? So I have a partially unrolled loop. And that's what's over here. So I bid an address to reset a latch right where I want to write to the PPU. Load up a X and something, and then just blast the PPU fairly quickly, actually, with data. So it doesn't, and I think this is fairly readable. So, you know, just because it's optimized doesn't necessarily mean it's unreadable. But yeah, so seeing that we're only writing the 2 PPU channels for now anyway, I'm just gonna what's it? Unroll this entirely. So load up. You know, let's. grab these guys, put them over there. Whoops. Okay, I wasn't expecting that. All right. That's what I wanted. And get rid of all that. And these guys... Oh, not insert. These guys. Plus space end with nothing. Boy. Space plus, I guess. That's what I wanted. Okay. I also need to get rid of that. Right? Yeah. Store that into 4,000. This guy is 4001, and then 2, and then not 5, 3, and then 4, and then 5. Speed coding. Gotta go fast. And 6, and 7. So this is essentially what that loop was doing. It was loading up things, and arguably, I guess this is more readable, because it's very clear what's happening here. You're loading up a variable and you're writing it. You're loading it up and then you're writing it. And you know what? I'm going to comment out the pulse stuff for now, because those are not being used at all, so I don't want to have to bother with those. Loop is so small, so I think this is better. Yeah, I think this is a lot more readable, honestly. And it is more efficient. Yeah, you are right. Yeah. Yeah, without the comparisons and the increments and all that. Blazing speed. Alright. So now what that does, it means I can reorder this stuff in memory. So this is gonna go along with this guy down here somewhere. This guy is gonna go up there. This guy is gonna go down there like that. And this guy like that. There we go. So now, as long the order that the pairs come in are ordered in relation to each other, it doesn't really matter. What really matters is how the pairs themselves are ordered, pulse 1 and 2, sequentially like that. So now I can do that. Pulse 1 to von at X. It's starting there, but if it's the second one, it goes over there. Whatever. Naming slightly confusing, but I can deal with it. And also load store so youngsters can understand. No funny addressing modes. Save you a few cycles there for other stuff. Yeah. No. And X there. Why am I using Y? Why am I using Y here when I don't clear it? I don't know what Y is at this point. Y could be anything. That needs to be 0. Oh wait, it's right there. It's right, wait. Never mind. I can't read my own code. Okay. But volume steps, that's gonna need to be X as well. All this stuff needs to be indexed. Any load or save inside this loop, with the exception of this guy, needs to be indexed, including this right here, this OR. That needs to be indexed as well. Yeah. FTC applications that Counter 64 has a 1 megahertz CPU. But for now, I think I'm just gonna OR these two flags together. So regardless of, come on, just go over there. Regardless of which one actually updates, it always sends an update to the volume bit. Yeah. That might be wrong, though. Well, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see how it works out. I love the LBC, even though I had to replace the power brick a few years back. Yeah, the power bricks are usually, you know, the things to go, aren't they? This meeting of sorts we made pizza with crafts. Huh? So, show what common style is. People the other dude didn't think think to speed up the bottleneck. What? Jack Tramiel's? Tramiel. Am I saying that right? Probably not. Probably not. Now, I actually had, I believe I had an apple as my first. Now, like when I think back at it, like, I don't remember which one it was, but I'm pretty sure it was an Apple computer and not a Commodore. All right. Okay, so the sound pulse flags that holds the update parameters for both pulse channels. So I don't need to index that one. That's the only one in that loop I don't need to index. Tramiel. Tramiel? Hayes, how you doing? Welcome. Welcome, welcome. All right, let's see what happens here. Okay, it builds. That's good. Building is good. Now let's... Sour, if you're listening, please make this not, like... Hang on. Let me... Please make this right here, like, save and not overwrite every time I start the program. That'd be great. Thanks, Sour. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. All right, so let's pause that and see what happens now. Let's see what it sounds like. Okay, that's actually what I wanted. Now it sounds really dirty and really nasty because of the notes I'm using. I'm using two notes that are, there's the alert. I'm using two notes that are right next to each other so I can tell when both of them are playing at the same time. Okay, so let's make the other note C at a higher octave. Right, so for one of the notes, where is... Yeah, so for the first channel, I'm using C4. I'm using C, and then on the next channel, I'm using D. So we're going to do two Cs, but just different octaves. So we're going to come back here. Reload that. Did I really reload that? Because it sounds exactly the same. Wait a minute. Hold up. This is never changing. This is never changing. The sound pulse flags, that should change. It should only be that. It'd be DD on the first frame. This means it's rewriting all the registers every frame, which is why it's choppy sounding. Should make an environment like this for all 6502 computers so that you can compile the code for each comp by press of a button, just like an Unreal Engine for such. There is a library out there to do just that, actually. I think someone here mentioned it to me once. All right, so the pulse flags are wrong for some reason. Let's hit that. Let's see. So why are... They're never being cleared. That's why. That's why. They are never... Because when I unrolled that loop... Not this. When I unrolled the loop, one thing I missed or forgot about is during the loop, it would shift off the... what's it? The flags. To see if that channel needed to be updated. Which is why I had the loop in the first place. That's why I had the loop in the first place, to see if any of that stuff needed to be updated. Okay. That's why I had it in the first place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, well, make it a little bit messier, I suppose. But I need to put those checks back in there. Because if I write if I write certain things every frame, like some of the tone stuff, it's choppy. Yeah, so I'm shifting sound the flags, and I'm branching depending on if carry is set or if that bit was set. Yeah, so I need to do this. I still need to do that. LSR sound pulse flags, SND pulse flags. You know what? We are going to put that one in there. Like that. We are going to leave that one in there. Okay. Reinvent the wheel. I've been writing a tracker. No, I think he means writing a cross compilation engine, so I can write the same code for the NES, and I'll write one piece of code and have it compile for the NES and the Commodore, for instance. Okay. So now each of these shifts off a bit. And if that bit is set, it does the thing. It writes that that register. If it's not, it continues onwards. So that's what all those are. Okay, that's what I was missing before. So now it shouldn't sound, oh boy, undefined label 96. Oh, whoops. Okay, so now it shouldn't sound terrible. Beautiful. The duty volume for the second channel. I don't think it's being updated. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. The second channel is not enabled. The second channel is not enabled, so we're not hearing it. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Come on, stop that. Camera, come on. Come on. There it goes. So I need to enable the second channel. Oops. And it's some stuff. Where's there? This one? Yeah. Status. Here we go. If I want it's on, I shouldn't disable it. I mean, he's holding his face in shame. Doesn't hear you. Okay, so now we should be okay. So now if I hit A, we hear both of them, so that's cool. What isn't so cool is that the pulse to duty volume never hits 0. Okay. Let's find out why that is. Yeah, we'll do a VS. So, no, what? Music data? Music data. Because it's supposed to hit 0 right there. It stops at, what, 9? Yeah, so it's stopping here, for whatever reason. The music died, long beep. Yeah. Just NES. I've always heard sound as the trickiest part of programming for the NES. Probably, yeah, because there are... So, to get something displayed on the screen, right? There's a few things you gotta do. You gotta draw something. Doesn't really matter what, you have to draw something. Okay. And you need to put that into the ROM. Fine. It's visible. You can see it. You can see if it's not there or not, right? So I can go and be like, oh, there ain't nothing there. I mean, that's an easy thing to debug, right? To put something on the background, it's load up one 8-bit variable and store it to a certain address on the PPU. Bam, it's there. Good. Oh, you gotta like turn it on, right? Turn on drawing. So it's like 4 different addresses you gotta do to get a lot of stuff onto to draw like the entire background. You only need like a handful of registers, like 4 or 5. For the APU, however, there are so many registers you have to keep track of, and to what's it? Yeah, keep track of and update every frame, and only update these ones, but not these ones over here. And to make anything sound good, you have to have a large state for your sound engine. To make anything look good, you can just throw crap at the screen, honestly. There isn't much state you need to update the screen. So like the sound engine here is probably gonna be larger and more complex than the rest of my game. Like all of it. I'm certain it's gonna have a larger memory footprint, aside from the buffers in for drawing stuff, which I'm not gonna count, because those are just like, fill this buffer with things and then read this whole buffer. So that's like one variable. So like the number of variables. How about that? The number of variables. Like so far, this is all zero page stuff, right? And then if I go over to sound BSS, there's even more for non-zero page stuff. And right now, I mean, I'm so this may not seem like much, but each of these is 4 bytes long. And some of these over here are 8 bytes long. So like these guys right here, these pointers are 8 bytes long. So sound engines are just a lot more complex than just throwing stuff at the screen. So yeah, sound engines are fairly difficult. Oh, why? Oh boy. Okay, I'm glad you can't see those down there. I need to like disable those notifications for now. Thank you, Telegram. I honestly don't recall most of my programming like Commodore 64 was text and graphics. I was never musically inclined, so it was never important to me. I am not musically inclined either, but I really hate just silent things. So I'm gonna put some sound in there. It's gonna sound like garbage, I'm sure, but by God, sound will be there. I can get bleeps up with music. Yeah, music is. We're gonna figure something out. It's gonna be very simple. It's gonna be very basic. It's gonna be very simple. It is not gonna be like some Mozart level stuff. I can guarantee you that. Is the music done? Beep! Make your ears bleed 20 seconds in. Minimal techno. That's what I'm gonna call it now. Yeah, minimal techno. Just beep. I like that. I like that. Minimal techno. All right. So, so I have a feeling that this volume macro is not working at all. So let's see. I can get rid of that. Let's see what those values are in RAM, shall we? Where am I going? I'm going to not search all. No, go to 8,000 ish. This guy right here. How many is it? 11 bytes. Yeah, okay. The NES doesn't NES have the capability to play samples? Just sample something. I mean, it does, but like playing those is even more complicated apparently than just beeps and boops. Because like you have to be constantly writing data to the APU at a set interval for the DCPM to sound anything decent. Not to mention, it's a heck of a lot of data. Minimal tech. What is this? Oh yeah, well, yeah. But even more minimalistic than that. Put that music in. No, I can't really play that during stream. Otherwise, my VOD will be muted, and I don't want that. Because like no one wants to watch somebody type and not be able to hear anything, you know. Which incidentally is why I use this over here, pretzel, because I don't get my VODs muted for that. I bet the NES can't play samples that good, but with the power of cassettes, I bet you the Famicom could. I mean, it won't be stereo, but I mean, who cares? Oh. All right, so we need to find out why. Number one, why it's not muting when I hit B, the second sound channel. No BB. Oh, because I'm not storing that into this stuff. Like that. And, F there, okay. Look, let's use music from tape. Just put the tape in your tape deck and hear the game music. I mean, in theory, I'd be able to put a game and like a full soundtrack on a cassette. In theory, would it work well? Probably not. It'd take forever to load. Number one, but it would. I'm pretty sure it would work. I'm pretty sure it would work, right? Buy two games, you can listen to the music and play the game at the same time. Yeah, as long as you mute one of the channels so you don't like have your ear bleed, that one ear bleed. All right, so now it should mute. That's pulse 0. No, okay, pulse 2. There it goes. I forgot to hit escape. So it, yeah. Those old AD&D adventures. Play the track of somebody reading the box text from the adventure. Yeah, something like that. Okay, so now it should at least stop when we tell it to stop. Right. Yeah, it stops when we tell it to stop. Cool. So that means we can come over to over there. Frame something or other. Sound run frame. Let's get here. So this is the macro stuff. We need to figure out what's going on with the macros. That's a good beep. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. How you doing, by the way? Opscriptor? Welcome. Cool, that's a note. It is. It most certainly is. Okay, so we're gonna go over here. Breakpoint there, so when we hit A, we can hit it. Awesome. And then we want to run this loop here. Run pulse loop. Okay, so this is the first channel. So the first channel is fine. Second channel, okay. Something that you got further than my piano program in BASIC. Really? Now stop there to ensure it sounds good. Two incompatible notes will sound bad. I realize that, yes, which is why I'm, well, not really why, but I'm writing two notes that are the same note, just an octave apart at, to the two channels. My piano program, you could only stop a note by playing another note. Ooh. Yeah, so that's if you don't take into account envelopes and the volume stuff, that's what happens on the NES. So that's why I have these volume macros are here. These are envelope macros essentially. You know, let me open up the tracker program. So that's what this is right here. In fact, why ain't it working? Configuration, MIDI. Right. This is plugged in, right? Yeah, it's plugged in. Okay. I don't know. Think of that file, by the way. Why it don't work? What gives? Really? Configuration, MIDI. Because it's the wrong MIDI device. Got it. There it goes. Okay. So yeah, you can see it. I'm holding the note down, right? Well, you can barely see the... So even though I'm holding the note down the entire time, it gets softer and softer until it eventually stops sounding like anything. Yeah. Graphics commands for that matter? What? Oh, that doesn't have sound channels in BASIC or Pro. But yeah, so that's what's actually controlling, stopping the note, really. There's the other. Thank you for that follow. Appreciate that. But yeah. Yeah, that's the thing I needed to put in first. Otherwise, it wouldn't... It'd just be that the entire time. It wouldn't actually stop or change or anything like that. It'd just do that. Even if I like let go of the key on the NES, like if I just write something once and then write to the APU once and ignore it, you'll just hear the forever. Like it won't stop. How you doing? Karsus? I'm learning programming this NES. I don't know if this applies to the NES. This is what I do, but I'll try it anyway. Do you know what after opcode mean? Well, it took one of those and made them into an emote, so I'm not sure what that... Oh! /... after an opcode. So it's probably... what's it? A immediate mode. That's what I'm gonna guess. It depends on the assembler you're using, but it's probably something like this right here, like this line. LDA pound. The $sign is hexadecimal notation, and then a hexadecimal number. The pound in this instance, in this case, means don't look at this address, read this as this value itself. So this loads up F0 into A instead of looking at the address F0. So my guess is it's something like that. It's something similar to that. Yeah. And by the way, the process that the SNES uses, the shoot, I know what it is, but I don't want to like botch it and give you something wrong here. Hang on. It's some special like Nintendo version of it. Yes, the Rico 5A22, but that's not what I'm looking for. Yeah, Yeah, okay. It's a 65C816, which is the 16-bit successor to the 6502. And in fact, the SNES's CPU starts up in 6502 mode. So all SNES games have to turn on like the native mode to enable 16-bit stuff. So in theory, like a lot of this code can actually run on the SNES unmodified. I'll have to modify like some of the graphics and sound stuff, but a lot of the other stuff will run as is without without changing anything. Yeah, so long as like it's put in the right mode. Right, so I want to have a look at that one there. Yeah, no worries. Eventually, I do want to try writing something for the SNES, but that's probably a little ways off for now. It's a screen control register. Just a bunch of graphical settings and by turning them all off. All right, so thank you for the follow, by the way. I appreciate that. The macro 0F. Is that correct? Probably. It sounds correct. Yes, it is. So we're looking at this guy here. We're looking at this line right here, line 43. So those are the values we want to be loading, right? So 0F. That's cool. Okay, this is sound channel 1. We're ignoring this one and going to the next one. 0E is incorrect. Why is that 0E? Why is 1? Yup. Thank you for that follow. Appreciate that. 8:15. Why is it reading that? That's the first volume macro. But we are on the second loop. Sound pointer volume macro at Y. Oh. I know why. Yeah, I know why. That needs to be something. Oh, jeez. I'm using the same pointer for both of them. I need to use a different pointer for both of them. Okay. So essentially, I need to load up the sound pointer volume macro. I need to load that one up each and every time. So I need to put that into a, like, temp address, whatever. Res 8, not 8, res 2. So this is something that's going to be used, rewritten every single loop. Yeah. So we need to load up at X. Store that. I need that as an offset. I need X as an offset. Can you just attach an MP3? Simple. Decode that in real time on a 6502? Yeah, okay. All right, so this portion of memory holds all of the pointers to the macros, the volume macros specifically, for each channel. So I need to find the one for this current channel and store it into a temporary address, temporary variable, right? So you know, let's wait a minute. Okay, this needs to go over here. I need to do it somewhere else. Okay, that there. Load volume macro pointer. Please wait for the music to load. Wait time 15 minutes. You could just download more RAM. All right. Okay, so I do I have a temp X and temp Y? I don't think I do. I don't think I do. I do. Okay. Okay, so we're going to be using a temp X and temp Y here. Or the temp X, rather. Because we need to multiply by 2. ASL, SL, A, and we can just do that by shifting it to the left, which is nice and handy. TAX. Save bridge value for later. This is ID to word offset. Okay, load that up. Store that into temp address. Macro +1 at X, right? Yes. So then temp address +1. Then load up X, temp X. And over here, we are looking at the temp address instead of the first pointer in the sound pointer of all macro stuff. I shifted to the left, shifted to the right, shifted to the and that's when his career ends in a copyright strike. Alright. Okay, so now let's see if this actually, well, the good news is it actually assembles. But let's see if it looks at this stuff correctly. That line. Okay, so it should be F, 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 and then some other stuff. What was that? CA9740. In theory. Okay, what is this guy? Good location. Okay, that's nothing. Cool. What about this guy? Good location. That's something. And then this guy, good location, is also something. Cool. But yeah, we're gonna break there instead. Not yet though. I don't think, right? Oh. Okay, so now we're gonna break there. This is the first loop, and this one should be doing F, so that should be fine. 8014 looks about right. I mean, it's advanced by 1, but whatever. We should be doing fine. Actually, does loading the instrument and stuff load up? There's pointer stuff. Okay, it doesn't actually load up the volume or anything like that. I don't think. Right? What is this? Why am I loading up pulse 1 timer high? What? Pulse 2. Oh dear. To do, not this way, obviously. Alright, so this probably needs to be rewritten too. Cool. Alright, well, let's see what's going on though. But that one's incorrect. X2. Oh. Right, because I multiplied it by 2. 8012. That sounds about right. No, it doesn't. $8012 temp address. 8014 8012. That's not right at all. So that's why it's ending on what? B? That's why it's ending on B. It's because it's reading from the wrong macro. It's loading the wrong macro. It's loading the wrong note. Well, all right. It's loading the wrong everything, essentially. Okay. So let's have a look at the load instrument then. This right here is incorrect, isn't it? Because this, something isn't being written right. All right, let's see how it's actually loading stuff, shall we? Load the second instrument. That's where I want to stop. Okay, loading the second instrument. So at the end of this, volume macro +2. So this is the second volume macro. That should be this address here, which is, oh, hang on, this right here. So that should be 8032 at the end of this. And where do we write that? Over here. We write it over here. Okay. So let's go down a little bit. We'll go down to this, to the macro itself. And no, 8013, work backwards. Yeah, 80. Macro. Yeah, it's 8012. Because I'm doing the macro stuff wrong, aren't I? Some macros volume at X 12. I'm loading the incorrect one. I need to be loading these 2 bytes here. 8010 and 8011. Why am I not? Channel ID to offset. Load up the chan temp offset. Transfer index. ID to word offset. Okay. In A we have 0. Why do we have 0? Instrument volumes 1. Volumes. Y is 1. Instrument volumes. Okay, so we need to back up a bunch. Back up to the top of this and find out why it's not working. Okay, so in X we have the instrument ID. Okay, so instrument lead, that's fine. We're gonna shift it to get the offset, the word offset. Transfer back to X. Store Y for later. That's the channel ID. Okay. Transfer Y to A. And shift that to get the offset. So that channel offset. Okay. Load up the instruments at X. Instruments at X. Okay. 8002. That sounds about right. Is it? Yes. Yes, it is. Okay, 8009 is the address we want. So 9, store that into the sound pointer instrument. +2. Okay, let's see where those stored. Volume macro, instrument Right there. Good. Okay. What are these? Triangle stuff. Whatever. Instrument 1 is 8004, which is here. Instrument 2, 8009. Cool. That's good. So far, so good. Alright. Load up the channel ID. Restore Y. Channel 1. Load up X0. I should not have done that. Because that's the... I need the channel offset there, not the... Well, do I? Sound pointer instrument. X. Where's Y used? Somewhere else. Instrument volumes +1. No, ID is correct. ID is correct here. Okay. So here we're loading up sound instrument voice. That's the volume macro. No, instrument voice. That's the wrong one. Sound point instrument. I am loading up just a blanket of the channel. I need that to be, instead of loading 0 into X, temp chan offset. Because that's looking at an offset index. Paper Fan Games, how you doing? Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Okay. Channel, what? Fat finger something. Not V. Okay. Alright. I'll divide macro ID. You know, macro ID, store the volume macro ID. All macro ID toward offset. Okay, so that's part of where I was going wrong. Is there more to it? Probably. There's probably more to what was going wrong there. What is this again? Go to location. Yeah. Okay. Back in loading instrument. Back in loading instrument. What debugger is this? This is the debugger that comes packaged with Messen. So if you do exclamation point tools, you can see all the tools I'm using. Welcome, by the way, Lord Alpaca. How you doing? Alright, so we're going to go down to right about here, which is where things started to go wrong before. I'm doing alright. Can't complain too much. Love your hand camera when you talk. Well, thank you. Appreciate that. Alright, so this is the something. What is this? This is the something. Pointers to the instrument. Right, because we're using them here. It's not instrument lead, though. Instrument +0 at X. X is 2. Wait, hang on. It is lead. Okay, those are the names that they used in the source thing, so that's what I'm using here. Should probably name something a little less confusing, but it's correct now. That's correct now. That's correct now. Let's throw that in volumes. What did I load up? I loaded up 1. Right, that's the ID, the macro ID. Right. Okay. Load up Y, the channel ID into the offset. What is X? X is still 2. Sound macros volume. I mean, that's correct here. Yes, because it's the macros volume. That's the index by channel ID. Or yeah, index by channel ID, but it's a word thing. So we're doing good so far. Load up that 32 and store it in the volume macro. Load up 00. No, load up 80 and store in the volume macro. 80. Wait, hang on. 8032. That sounds correct. Is that correct? Yes. Okay, I think we're doing good now. I think I have the correct pointer loaded up now. So let's see what happens. We got further. F7. Ain't right. F7 ain't right. F7 ain't right. Where did it stop? Where did it stop? Okay, so I think we got there. I think we did. We should have. We should have. So we need to check that again, I think. Okay. Load instrument. I want to go down to... Where am I going on to? Where did I leave? I'll leave off. That. I checked out to there, so let's go to there. Alright. Load up the channel offset, the ID offset. Okay, so we can load up the macro. The macro pointer. Excuse me, the macro pointer. Or no. Yeah, this is the macro pointer. Save the macro pointer. Okay, cool. Did I save the length correctly? I wonder if I did. Because that's the first one. That's... Isn't it? Yeah. Where do I... Load instrument. Okay. Channel ID to offset the pointer. Restore. Load the volume macro ID. Channel ID to offset. Pointer. Lengths. That's... Okay, so that's loaded later. No, can I switch to source view? There we go. Load and save the length of the volume. Am I really all the way over there already? Load X to 0. Why am I loading up X to 0? Oh, because at that point... Oh, I'm doing it wrong here as well. I'm doing it wrong here as well. So this right here, I need to... That needs to be... something else. That needs to be... a temp address. I need to put the volume macro pointer into a temp address, as well as in memory somewhere, or in a lookup table somewhere. But that pointer is so I can use that here. To look that up. And then I want to increment a thing. Actually, hang on. Wait a minute. Hold up. Y macro X. I'm not using the correct load A here, I don't think. Because I'm pretty sure I want to use... Well, temp address for one, but Y instead. Yeah. I'm loading Y to 0. X is going to be the channel ID. Sound pointer volume macro. So that I need to transfer X to A. ASLA, then transfer it back to X, then index this guy at X. Like that. Yeah. So this right here is getting the length itself of the macro. The first byte right here. So this guy here. This byte. And it's storing it into a table of lengths. Is it in the 0 page? I don't think so. Lengths. It's storing into this table right here. Macro lengths. And that's a 1 byte table. Or, you know what I mean. A table of bytes, not words. So that's how you do music? Yeah, it's in depth. It's very low. Well, I mean, low levels have a bit of an understatement, I guess. I have to program all of the envelopes and everything myself. So an envelope in music is how the sound, like the volume of the sound progresses. So if I pause that real quick. So what I have on screen right here is the default envelope, right, that I'm using for channel 1, I think. But it takes care of the volume, so it instead of sounding like this for the entirety of the note, which is forever, instead it sounds like this. So even though I've got the key still held down, it's quiet now because it's not doing anything because the volume dropped off, right? Boom. That's an envelope. So that's very important for what I'm doing here. So I just don't have like notes continuing to play at a static at a solid static tone. But yeah, so there's a lot more to it that I'm gonna be leaving out of my engine. Like arpeggio is one that I'm gonna be leaving out. Pretty much, I think anything except the volume macro, as well as I guess duty, because I've got these here. The duty macros. I might be leaving these out too. I don't know. I'm not actually writing those to the PP right now. So I might just be doing the volume stuff actually, and not worrying about anything else. Because even with just the volume, I can still get some somewhat decent sounding stuff without, you know, worrying too much about it. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. Yeah, but yeah, currently right now I'm working on the volume envelope, specifically for 2 channels. So I got it working for the first channel, but I didn't take into account a lot of the indexing for 2 channels. The Jolly Developer, how you doing? You made it, yeah! Welcome. But yeah, so where is everything here? Volume macro, did I? Oh, right, because I did some weird crap here. Oh, not weird crap, but I had to fix stuff. Move the point to the start of the data. All right, and this is channel ID to offset. To word offset. Yeah, thanks for being here. This song always has like what 20 seconds of dead dead air on it. Like why? Well, who thought that was a good idea? And there's the next song. Why? Well, I guess the guys that wrote the song thought it was a good idea. Okay, channel word offset. Move the point to the start of the next data. Start of the data. Yes. To build ambition. Yeah, the quiet part after the song. That's what I was talking about. Yeah. Reset steps to the beginning. Load A. Y is what? What is Y right now? Y is currently 0. Y should not be 0. Y should be the channel ID. Like that. There's this one song I have which gets quiet and then has some more sounds. It's like, I think it's a different song is starting. Yeah, I think I've heard a few songs like that. Best album is the Sound of Silence. Haven't heard that album if you're being serious. I mean, it's probably a real album. Alright. Temp batter undefined. Is it though? It is, because I called the temp address. Okay. So this is, again, the same load instrument. Okay. It's playing with no music, just silence. So they just, like, got some blank DVRs or CDRs and just mailed those out to people? Is that what happened? For $90? What? What? It's a little much, isn't it? Alright, so I'm gonna stop there. Load and save the length of volume. So the length, F. I don't know if that's right. It is not. It is A. The length is A, not F. F is the first value. That's incomplete somewhere, isn't it? Volume macro and Y. Did I touch Y yet? I did. $8032. Well, that's correct. Some macro volume 1. Some macro's volume. This one. Some macro's volume. Plus 1. Volume 01. Okay. So why is temp address wrong then? Wait a minute, I think I know what's going on here. Temp address is correct. Y needs to be 0. That needs to be X, so I store that in X. But Y needs to be 0, because I'm using this as a pointer, and I can't just load A to a pointer. I need to have it in an index mode. Okay, so let's try that again. So down, where is it? Here, that's where I want to go. So this should be loading up 0A. And it did. Good. Okay, and it incremented the volume macro by 1, which means it moves it off of the length byte onto the actual data itself. So it moved it from pointing to this, 0A, which is the length of the data, and now it's pointing at the start of the data, 0F. Cool. That's good. That's good. So let's see if it does what we want it to do. Not quite. 4. It's getting further. We're off by 1 though. Bet you this one's off by 1 as well. So if I do that, so I had 2 zeros on the end there just because it wasn't working. But yeah, so both of these might have an off by 1 error. So let's see. Let's see if both of them act the same now. If both the channels act the same. They should. They should act the same. You know, assembly is fun. Risk V. I haven't tried any Risk assembly. Welcome though, Chrono Luminaire. How you doing? How's your day going? Okay, both of them are broken in the same way. That's actually a good thing. I think it's like this, right? I think this is what's going on. Yes, that's what was going on. Okay. I fixed it! Thank you for that file. Appreciate that. I fixed it. We're good now. So, yeah, that math wasn't making too much sense to me last time. And that's because it was wrong. So, yeah. We fixed it. We fixed it. Yay! Okay. Okay. Do I have some countdown code somewhere? I thought I did. That I need to get rid of. Maybe not. Maybe not. Okay. Beautiful. How you doing, Oka Primarjaya? Prinarjaya? Oka, how you doing? Welcome. I can't pronounce your name. I apologize. But yes, this is all in 6502 assembly. It's specifically what this is a sound engine for the NES. And it's going to be going into a game I'm writing on the NES. I'll bring that up here in just a second. There and there. So eventually it's going to be going into this game here. Don't worry about the messed up title. So this is the main project I'm working on right here. The working title is Runner. I still don't know what I'm actually going to call it, but we'll see. This is all running on real hardware, by the way. So it's just a simple like run and jump kind of game. So if you've ever not had internet and opened up Chrome and get that little T-Rex running game, that's basically what this is, only on the NES. So I've been working on this since like October-ish, give or take. But yeah, it's a very simple side-scrolling thing. Every level is auto-generated based on that seed at the bottom there. And the longer you stay alive, the higher your points. The more points you get. And it keeps track of, you know, your high scores and the seed for that high score. Calls are correct. Yeah, mostly. Well, I mean, not really, but fonts are 10 out of 10. Well, thank you. Hello, Korea. How you doing? But yeah, so you can, like, you know, enter a seed so you can retry a level or whatever. Yeah. Also, this list here is anybody that's subbed to me during this project gets put on this list here. How long have we been working on the project? Since about October of last year. And all the code is up on GitHub as well, by the way. Why is that still open? The code command is actually pointing to the wrong project. I need to fix that. Let me do that now, actually, before I forget. Elements. That's movie night. Hang on. Give me a second. That's another project I'm working on. What is this crap? Stream Elements has updated their crap to log in. I mean, I guess. Just getting into game dev. Oh, nice. Miha, how you doing? Welcome. So, Miha, that guy right there, he is the one that drew and animated that sprite for me. So, yeah, go check him out. Go check out that guy. So he's the one that took care of that for me. Give me 1 second to update my commander real quick. Okay. There we go. There's that code. So that's, I think, updated. I think that repo is updated for what's currently on my ROM. But all I offer is disappointment. Really, you don't? I thought you did. I thought you did. Oh well. Shout out, yeah. Anyway. But welcome. How you doing, Miha? How you doing? How's your day going? All right, look over here. So you're developing a program inside a NES machine. That's why you use assembly, because maybe it will become too complicated to write in C. That's a very ancient machine. Sure, you can actually write NES games in C, but that kind of goes against why I'm learning assembly in the first place. It's probably harder to debug because like stepping through the code, I don't step through. Holy crap, Soding! How you doing? Thank you for that raid. How you guys doing from Soding Stream? Welcome. Muraragi, how you doing? Aaron, hello. Good dog, how you doing? Appa, how you doing? Welcome. How you guys doing? So today I'm working on the sound engine stuff. It's not much to look at because it's just, you know, it's a green screen. But I mean, you can hear things, right? So if I do, it broke. I have a breakpoint. It doesn't sound like garbage, and it actually like stops when I tell it to. Well, hang on. It's only up to, okay, so it's not completely fixed. Because it's only up to the first channel, but it's not like broken, so that's cool. But how you guys doing? How was your stream, Soding? I can hear things that broke. Yeah, that's pretty much, yeah, Easter is a big family thing, so I'm not home much, but that's not a bad thing. Alright, not bad. I'm actually starting to sweat here because apparently, like, I don't know. My heat's been off for the past, like, week, but it's just getting hotter and hotter in here. X33 Grawl, how you doing? Stream good, that's good to hear. It's good to hear. But, so, okay, so I guess I'm not going to commit yet, because it's still broken. Still broken, so I'm not going to commit yet. Yeah. Not going to commit yet. So why is it broken? Because it's not updating the second channel when I hit A? Is that what's happening? Where's load note? This is probably where it's broken, isn't it? Yes, because I didn't do any of the Pulse 2 stuff, like, at all. I have the Pulse 1 stuff all up here. Yeah. Okay. Actually, hang on. Do I not even... Channels and Y. Why am I looking at all the channels then? Load node. I need to be indexing these things. Thank you guys for the files. I do appreciate that. There's a pixel stuff is surprisingly easy. At least I had NES resolutions. Not for me, because I can't draw to save my life. But you can actually pull off some crazy stuff with even the limited resources that you have on the NES. I am terrible at pixel art. I really am. I'm not afraid to say it. I am terrible at pixel art. There's all the alerts. Thank you again for all that. But yeah. Yeah, so the cityscape is like straight lines and things and like boxes. That's all that is. That's okay. That's not hard to do. Draw a box. Yay, I drew a box. Hooray. That's easy. Anything more advanced than that, it's just progressively worse for me. I don't even know what it is. It's a single color box. I mean, I could do that too, I suppose, right? All right, so this is what I need to do. It's not this way. It's just that's it right there. Physics simulations. Thomas was, yeah, that was its entire stick. Was all just boxes, right? Just different sized and colored boxes. Thank you guys for those follows. I appreciate that. All right, so notes little byte pulse down. Okay. Pulse 1, pulse 2. So I need to do this for some other stuff as well, don't I? Notes little byte plus 1. Wait a minute. Does this load up? It loads up the same note for both channels, doesn't it? It loads up the same note for both channels. Which is why this won't sound like garbage. I think. So it's probably writing the same note to both. Yeah, it is writing the same note to both channels. So this won't sound any different then. I mean, it did for a second there. But yeah, so it's only loading up a single channel. Do you write a device driver? So this is just a sound card driver. On the NES, there is no such thing as drivers, really. I am talking to the hardware directly. So for instance, to get the sound to, you know, exist, I write to specific registers. Just right here, load up the volume for the Pulse 1 channel, store it in register 4000. And that is the one of the APU registers. Specifically, it is, for Pulse 1, it is this right here. The duty, volume envelope, and length counter, the constant volume, and the actual volume itself. So some flags and the actual volume. So that's me telling the sound chip to make a sound, essentially. Yeah. So there's so there isn't really like a sound card driver. Very much. It's all very, very close to the hardware. Yeah. The only API I'm using is the chip API itself. Same thing for the images as well. For the graphics. I mean, I'm not drawing any graphics on this right here, but for the game itself, for this over here, it's the same thing. It's load up an ID and write to a specific register, and oh look, I found a tile. The tile's on the screen now. Yeah. Sorry, Beck. What's your advice for game devs? Blanket advice is always the hardest to give. What do you want specifically? I mean, I don't know. Cook your food before you eat it. That is. What kind of advice do you want? What image? Yeah, this isn't an image. Guru LeBoff. Do it. Just do it. Yeah. Starting your projects and designing and coding. It all depends on what you want to accomplish, really. So this is not my first NES project. My first NES project was actually Pong, and that was only Pong because I was going through a tutorial, and the tutorial started Pong. They started here's how you would start Pong, and here's where the collision detection code would go, and here's where the Jojo, you need it. You're right there. There you go. Fourth time's charm. And here's where like the input stuff will go, and here's where this will go, and here's where that will go. So that project started off of like, all right, well, I have the skeleton of Pong. Let's actually flesh this out and make it a real thing. So I did. I can actually bring that up here real quick. Oh, not that one. I'll use this. Pong bin. And that's what this is here. So I wrote this all on stream. The VODs for this are not there anymore, unfortunately. As before I started archiving VODs. Yeah, so this is the first project I did. And then after this, I'm like, okay, well, what do I want to learn next? What do I want to accomplish next, right? And the next thing I wanted to do was, okay, we need some sort of, like, platforming thing. Not a full-fledged, like, Mario clone or whatever, because that has a lot of things in it that I, especially at the time, didn't fully understand how to do, specifically with the map and collision stuff. So instead, I started writing something that was suggested in chat, actually, which was this running and jumping game. It's very, very basic map generation, very basic collision detection, but it helps me understand what I don't understand yet, what I don't know yet, and it helps me start thinking in a different way to break down the issues and whatnot. I have seen Micro Mages, yes. It is in the mail. Eventually, it will get here. I have a physical copy coming. Hello, by the way, but the Thomarest? The Omarest. Hello. Also, Tom. Tamakala? Tamakala. How you doing? Welcome. How you guys doing? But, yeah. I lost my train of thought there, but, you know. It's all good. But, yeah, so I am getting Micro Mages in the mail here eventually. This will be the third homebrew game I've gotten. What did I do with the other ones? Oh, they're over there. Well, not all of them are. So I also have Alfonso's Arctic Adventure. I played this on stream not too long ago. Had a fun time playing Beat Saber. Beat Saber. I want to play Beat Saber, but I need a headset for that first. Will I be shipping these? I doubt it. I might do a giveaway, but the ROM will be out there. I might do a giveaway of like a card or two, but I'm not sure yet. But yeah, so this is a brand new game that I got off of Kickstarter. I got another one over here. Hang on, let me go grab it. This is Nebs and Debs. I got this one off of Kickstarter as well. Also played this one on stream. I did a little bit of tasking for this one. The VODs are up on YouTube. If you want to have a look at those, they're over there somewhere. If I know my own commands, that'd be fantastic. But yeah, so you know, I am excited for Micro Mages, by the way. Really excited. I can't wait to get it. Some of the things that they did for the level compression, by the way, I never would have thought of. So they had a they put out a video of like how we got a game in 42K or 32K or something like that. And it goes over how they did a lot of the level compression and sprite compression and all that kind of. It's a fascinating watch. You should absolutely watch it if you haven't yet. But yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm excited. I'm gonna see if I can get a few friends together and play 4-player on a stream. But we'll see. Okay, so I need to rewrite the load note thing. So this right here needs to be entirely rewritten. And for now, we're going to just rip out the triangle. We're not going to worry about it right now, at all. And I need to make this. Okay, so you know, we're gonna rename these things to load pulse instrument and load pulse note, like that. Oops. Darn it. Pulse. That's not how you spell pulse. That's how you spell pulse. Okay. So yeah, pulse note I need to rewrite, I think. Rewrite that like entirely. So Y holds the channel ID, okay. A holds the note. Okay. Note for pulse 1, so no slow by. Okay. Yeah, alright. Trying to think how I want to do this. How do I want to do this? Note table, store the low byte in Y. Y is the channel ID. Right, so ASLA, so store A, ASL, transfer to X. Because it's looking up the word, not store. Look up note in table, in word table. Transfer Y to A, ASL, STY into temp chan ID. Transfer Y to A, ASL, A. Store that into temp chan offset. And yes, I am using Vim. Yep. If you want to see the font and theme I'm using, do exclamation point theme. And it'll drop links to those too. Okay, so the offset for the channel offset, and we want to put that back in Y. Transfer A to Y, like that. So now, okay, notes high byte, notes low byte. So these guys, okay. Load the pulse timer high, pulse 1 timer. That's going to be something different, isn't it? I know this is underneath my camera. Give me a second. Timer high, timer low are next to each other, so I can index this as well. But this is indexed on something else. Wait, what is X? No table. X. X is transfer A to X. Look up note in the word table. X is looking up for the note. Okay, so I can't use X, but I am going to use Y instead. So I'm going to load up Y to temp chan ID. So this right here saves it to the correct spot. Oh wait, store note high byte. Yeah, that should be fine. That should be fine. I need to load up this pulse timer high. Yeah, okay. So this loads up the previous value for the note for that channel. Not the note, for that channel. So that loads up the duty setting, the envelope loop setting, and the constant volume setting. Why is that F8? That should just be F. Or F0 rather. Because I want to chop off. No, that's wrong. No. That's a different value. This is the register I'm looking at. So yeah, it is F8. So the first, or these 5 bytes, the high 5 bits rather, are the length counter load. We're ignoring that. We're not. That's not going to be any, well. I don't want to change any of that for loading the note. What I do want us to do though is clear out the timer high, which is the note high bits, the note high bits. So that's why we are ANDing them with F8. So those low 3 bits are nuked. They're reset. And then we come in and wait a minute. That needs to be like that. And with a hexadecimal value, not something else. And then we OR it with the note value. We'll put the note value in there. Put that in the notes high byte. I don't actually read this value though. Do I? Notes high byte. I don't actually read that. So you know what? We're just gonna store that into pulse 1 timer high at Y. To do move this to engine run loop. Epic Ninja Elephant, how you doing? Vim and Assembly. Hello, how you doing? Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, so even though this says... I can't read it right now, but even though this says pulse 1 timer high, it's indexed, so it actually goes to the correct address. I just said Visual Basic. Vim and Assembly. I don't think I said Visual Basic. I might have. I don't know. I hope I didn't. Okay, what is this stuff here? Channel ID to mask offset. Mask offset? Right, because that's a 4-byte table, not a word table. That's a double word table. Writing a NES game. Yes! Specifically, though, I'm writing a sound engine for the NES that I will eventually put into my NES game. But yes, the NES game that I'm working on is this guy over here. This is actually, thank you for the follow, by the way. This is actually on real hardware. Yeah, this is the NES game, and you'll notice that you don't hear anything. There's no music or audio or anything like that. So that's the next step I'm working on. And it's I think just about the last thing I need to work on is the audio. There's a few cleanup things I need to do, but the last thing I really need to work on, the last big thing, is the audio engine. Everything else is done. Mostly. I need to tweak a bunch of the graphics a little bit, but I consider that smaller stuff. Because the only thing I need to do for that is modify some data. The underlying functionality for all that stuff is already there. It's already written. So I don't need to change the logic any. I just need to change the graphics themselves, you know. But yeah, so for this sound engine is already, I think, almost as complex as the game itself. But yeah, welcome. All right, channel ID to offset. So we're gonna. Okay, ID is in Y. And this should be updating all the notes, the flags. Notes low, byte, timer low, timer high. Oh, I see what that is. Okay, so this we are ignoring. We're not going to do this here. We need to do that differently. This timer high. And low I don't actually touch. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. Mochi Jump, how you doing? Did you write a draw engine for this game? Yes and no. I mean, it's a sprite-based system. So I don't draw pixels individually, at least not on the hardware itself. I draw them in like a well, it's kind of a bitmap format, but it's not. It's its own special format on the NES. But I essentially draw this by hand for getting graphics on the system. And I can read this directly and you know, put this at this position or put this on offset, whatever. And the hardware itself takes care of actually drawing that. Did some assembly many years ago on a Motorola 68K. Nice. Then later Intel. Oh, I'm sorry. Vital, how you doing? Welcome. Welcome. But yeah, so I did write the entire engine, by the way, for my game, entirely from scratch, entirely in 6502. Yeah, this isn't the runner game. This is the sound engine stuff that I'm working on. But and if you guys are curious for the code, to actually look at the code for all that, it's up on GitHub. It's up on GitHub, so you can go have a look at it. There are instructions on actually building that as well over on GitHub. So if you want to, you know, build the ROM and actually run it in an emulator, or if you have a ROM cart on actual hardware, you can. But I haven't posted the ROM to GitHub though, because the game isn't really finished yet, and I don't really want to be, you know, re-uploading a new ROM every time I work on it. How many car enthusiasts can say I wrote the whole engine for my car myself? My guess is not very many. That's gonna be my guess. It's not very many. Ah, me. Mia, what are you? You weren't streaming today. Thank you though. How you doing? Kikyo, Mia, how you doing? Don't sneeze on me, please. Please. I don't need MLG knocking on my door. How you guys doing? How you guys doing? Super JPEG, welcome. I want to join the raid. You were already here. Turning on me, traitor. See how it is. How's your day going, Mia? How's your day going? We didn't actually decide on a movie for tonight, so I guess we're not having a movie night? Is that what's happening, Mia? Yeah, we just didn't, like... Yeah. I guess I forgot to bring it up or something. I don't know. MLG! Uh-oh. Uh-oh. How you doing, MLG? Welcome. I can't hear you, but please ban these trolls. Yes, Jojo, probably, but that's something that I'm keeping mostly under wraps. Hand assembly? Yes. Well, I mean, not to the first half of it, because whatever. But never decided on a movie, so rip. Well, whoops. I may or may not host what's it? An anime night tonight where we just watch episodes of something. Don't know yet. So that's how much of it. Jojo, why you gotta keep throwing it on the boat? Biggest sniffer. I don't know about that. Yeah, I mean, my car isn't wrapped in it, right? I don't have any Tasha car. Give it back. Second biggest. Wow. Am I though? I don't know. Am I? I mean, just because I recognize a few characters. I mean, just let's. Alright, so time. I also need to write the timer low. I'm not writing that anywhere. It needs to be written right here. No, it's high byte and no, it's timer low, like that. Oh, that breaks this, doesn't it? Wait, hey, wait, what? That's the offsets. Wait a minute. Why am I doing that? Okay. Thank you for the files. Appreciate that. The Gel Mega, how you doing? Welcome. Welcome. Yeah. Oh yeah, Mia, did you see what Miha did for me, by the way? There it is. Miha drew me a thing. He that's the wrong controller. Okay. He drew me some pixel art so I can have some like non-stick figure stuff in the game. Yeah, right? So I'm actually really happy with how that came out. Yeah, really happy how he drew the animation frames and everything. Yeah, so credit goes to him for that. Jojo, thank you for that gifted sub. I do appreciate that. To who was that to? Super JPEG. Finally doing something other than Anno 1800. All right, nice. I haven't actually played that game. So let me go ahead and put you in the thing. Hang on. Where is it? Thank you for that follow. Appreciate that. And I think there was a question that someone asked that I'm about to miss, that I did want to answer. This should have much. Yeah. So I think someone asked about getting this on real hardware. Is that somewhere? Did I see that? Trying to see who asked that. Oh, it's in red. I should have known that. I just want to get code on NES hardware these days. Some sort of fake ROM. It's a real ROM, but it's on a special cartridge. So I have an EverDrive. This guy right here. So my real NES is sitting off screen over there. But this right here is basically just a NES cartridge with an SD card in the top of it. So I put the ROM on the SD card. And some other things, firmware type stuff. Pop this into the NES, and it gives me some menu stuff, so I can then go and you know, choose. Oh, I'll go to homebrew and then demos, and then let's just, you know, start up that guy, and then it loads the ROM and whatnot. But yeah, so that's how I get my stuff on here. I do also have a programmer, a cartridge programmer, and dumper as well. But I need special boards to program, boards that allow programming essentially. From these guys, I haven't picked any up yet. I probably will pick up a few eventually. And that's another way to get ROMs onto a real cartridge, and that's what these guys did. The Nebs and Debs. So it's the same. You can see the little infinite thing. It's you know, the same logo as here. So yeah, this is one of those programmable boards. So I could probably overwrite this if I really wanted to. I don't, but I probably could. Yeah, so I test on the emulator, and I can debug in the emulator as well. So this right here is part of my emulator, and this is all the code, right? So I can step through code and see exactly what's happening on the processor and whatnot. I can't exactly do that on real hardware. Yeah, I'm spoiled. I know. But this is great. EMX is better. Well, about that. Am I single-handedly supporting half your stream? I think so. I think it might be more than a little more than half, by the way. But Bridges in here, so I had to pick up for it. He's still at Anime Boston today, right? One of these years I'll get out to that, but I've been meaning to for a while. But I didn't even know it was this weekend until like Monday. 'Tis a great burden you carry, right? But yeah, so that's how you can get it on real hardware. That's how you can get it on. There's a few ways, but the main reason I got this isn't actually to get games onto real hardware, is to reverse engineer a piece of hardware. It's one of these guys for the Famicom, which is it's a tape drive for the Famicom itself. So I bought this. And I'm like, wait a minute. I found it off of eBay. I'm like, wait a minute, hang on, this is a Famicom thing. I don't have a Famicom, so I also have a Famicom over there that I bought as well. Need music for your game. I do need music for my game, but before that, I need a way to play the music, which is actually what I'm working on today. I'm working on the sound engine itself. So the eventual goal is to be able to use this program right here, FamiTracker, to actually compose music. And then FamiTracker can export it into a text format that I will then read, parse, and put into my own format, right? But I need to handle a few things like envelopes and whatnot. Just one long beep. Yeah. 1 beat per minute, 1 beat per eternity. 1 BPI, beat per infinity. So I just got stuck in the 80s. I mean, Steel Digital, how you doing? How did I get into assembly programming? Carefully? I don't know. What originally made me want to do it, though, is watching programming envelopes is hard. Not necessarily. It's probably one of the easier things, I think. I would think. I don't know. It's a lot of pointers and crap. But the original reason I wanted to get into learning assembly is because I was watching a Games Done Quick, which is a speedrunning thing, right? And this speedrunning is you get through a game as fast as you possibly can, with just a controller. A lot of times with hacks and cheats and whatnot. But there's one block of that's task runs or tool assisted speed runs, where it's a computer going as fast as you possibly can through some certain things, and frame perfect inputs and all that kind of stuff. So you can do some really bonkers stuff with clipping through walls and whatnot. I must break you. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's exactly what it is. And some of the stuff that people have done with some of the exploits that they found is like, oh, I'm just gonna rewrite Super Mario World to be Super Mario Brothers with nothing but controller inputs. Nautic is mainstream. Thank you for your Twitch Prime sub for 2 months in a row. Thank you so much for that. Are you on this? I didn't even update this list. I meant to update this list, but I didn't update the list. Well, let me make sure you're on here first. Noctis. You are, okay. You actually capitalized you correctly. Noctic. I don't know how to pronounce your name properly, but thank you. Thank you so much for that. I do appreciate that. And who was the other one? Jojo, who'd you give? Super JPEG. Is he in here? Really? I thought you were. Oh, all right. Tier 1. There we go. I'm here. I meant in the file. In the file. It's Latin. I don't know how to pronounce Latin. Noctis Mastium. I was gonna call you Noctis. How you doing? Welcome. Thank you again for that Prime. Really do appreciate that. sorry to call you out of lyric, JPEG. Sorry, I didn't mean to call you out of lyric. Let's start in code NES there, CD2 runner, and then make names. 1 month passed since I sub-gifted. Well, also not correctly. Really? If I can, like, search for the right thing, that would help. You are correct. Okay. There we go. So it's... So this right here. So I'm rewriting my syntax highlighter. Let me see if yeah. So I'm redoing my syntax highlighting. And I purposely wrote some invalid stuff so I can, figure that out. So that needs to not be in there at all. Oh, come on, he didn't. Okay, let's see if it wants to make now. Okay, well, good. All right. Let me open up this guy over here. So that's gonna open up a little box over there. But that means I can recent runner like that. Get rid of that. Go over there. Oh, so I forgot that this. That's broken. Okay, that's cool. Whatever. But yeah, so you guys should be on the list now. You guys should be on there now. But yeah, so this list here is just everybody that's subscribed to me during this project. So I only clear this list on a new project. So even if your sub runs out, you'll still be on here. All right. Yeah, I still need to finish rewriting the highlighter for this. I'm still trying to figure out how Vim highlighting works, the syntax highlighting works. It's a long road. It's a long road. Thank you for the gift. I appreciate it. But I'm getting there. I am making progress. I am making progress. Like, I think these aren't completely broken. I mean, they're still broken, but not completely broken. Oh. It's progress. It's progress. And the ugly colors are just so I can differentiate between things that are working or are matching correctly and that are not matching correctly. So that's all that was. All right. All right. Did I reassemble this? I don't remember if I did. Guess not. I figured out where I was in my broken code a week ago. Yeah. So, what was it? When I was putting the sprites in, I had to figure out like why things weren't really working the way I thought they would be working. And that code I had written like 6 months ago. So I've been there. I've been there. Right. So it's. Oh, good. It just doesn't work at all now. That's cool. I just broke it completely. Fantastic. Fantastic. Find occurrences. JSR, the first one. Okay. So we're gonna break there. Hit A. Okay. So we get there. That's good. That's good. F11. Jump into it. Store A into the notes table. Okay, A is the index to, where is it? This here, by the way. This right here. So these are the notes that I'm indexing. These are the actual values that are going to be written to the APU. Thank you for this, fellas. I appreciate that. Really do appreciate that. So this right here is like what's actually an A. So for instance, what was this one? 1B. So that's C4, the note C4. But that indexes this table up here. So that is what is in this table here, the notes table. Store Y is 0 into the channel ID. Okay. That's good. Temp channel ID. Transfer Y to A. So we clobber whatever node it was just now. Okay, we shift it for the offset. It's going to be 0 anyway for the first channel. That's fine. Why am I shifting it twice? Oh, I need to reload the node. So that needs to be put in X. That node needs to be put in X. Store it there, but also transfer A to X as well. No, not yet. We want to ASLA and then transfer it to X, so we don't have to do that over here. So did you end up reverse engineering ROMs learned initially? Start by modifying one thing that leads to the next, then later on decide to make your own homebrew or from assembly nonetheless. So originally I wanted to start with reverse engineering other games because that was my end goal. My end goal is to be able to reverse engineer games to find exploits in them and whatnot. So the first roadblock I hit is, oh, they're all written in assembly. I don't know assembly. So I went and found a programming manual from the 70s and taught myself a bit of assembly. I'm like, cool, okay, now I can read this. Okay, this is loading a thing, this is storing it. Awesome. What does any of that mean? Like, what does that mean in this context? Okay, so in order to know what that means in the context of the NES, I should probably learn how to write a game for the NES. So I looked up a tutorial. I think it's Tuts. I don't even know my own. Res. Okay, it's the Nerdy Nights tutorials. That's where I started. That's where I started actually learning how to write for the NES itself. And then from there, once I figured out the basics of it, it's okay. Now I need to find a program and find a thing to write, a game to write, and set out writing it and breaking down the problems and finding the problems that I would that the games have to overcome. Things like writing to the screen or drawing to the screen and updating your sprites and all that kind of stuff. And this wiki right here has been absolutely indispensable. This is the NES Dev Wiki. It's in the resources there somewhere. But yeah, the story's getting longer and longer. Yeah, one of these days I'll actually like record a video for that and post it up on YouTube. But eventually, one of these days, I'll get to it. I'll get to it soon. Maybe. I don't know. Alright, so this is store the note ID for later. Note ID to word offset. Put that X. Store Y the channel ID. Save some channel stuff for later. So channel ID, transfer Y to A, shift it, and then this is channel ID to word offset. I have memorized your path to assembly. I mean, I've said it enough times, right? I think I was there in your second. Really? That long ago? Wow. It's cool. I've been into emulators since I can't remember. Fair with assembling myself. Can mod and cheat games, but never thought or would want to make my own homebrew from assembly. Really? Props to you. Well, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, because so I figured like, okay, I can poke registers or poke memory addresses, right, and see what it changes. Cool. But if I don't, I figure if I can understand what the routines themselves are actually doing, and how to subvert them, how to modify them to do what I want, I would need to know how to write a game write a game on the NES. Yeah, time flies. Yeah. So that's why I'm writing games on the, and it's I find it really fun because like when I'm programming in like my day job is my day job is like C# VB.NET and SQL, right? Think about that, follow. Appreciate that. When something goes wrong there, it's like, oh, you threw an exception. Here's the line of code where it's wrong. This is what we expected. This is what we got. Go fix it. Like, oh, okay. I found the file. I found the line of code. Beautiful. It's very easy to, you know, find and whatnot. But on the NES in assembly, there's no such thing as an exception. It just takes a value and runs with it. So when I was doing the sprite stuff for this right here, getting the player character in there, I changed a few things, and the title screen is all kind of was kind of screwy for a little bit. So I was working on fixing the title screen, but I had a byte wrong somewhere, so this happened instead. Yeah, 200 on that. So this happened instead. That's an error, obviously. But that ain't no exception. It don't tell you where it broke. It doesn't tell you what file it was in. It doesn't tell you what value it got versus what it received. It just took the value that it was given and ran with it. It just continued on its merry way. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. And I find this stuff absolutely hilarious, and I really enjoy hitting this kind of stuff, because it's just like things you don't expect at all. Like I did not expect this in the least, and my screen just threw up on itself. So that's actually a big reason why I'm streaming it is for that kind of thing. The weird errors that come about, and there's my puzzled like, excuse me, why did that? Huh? Why did that happen? But yeah, I get a kick out of that stuff. I really do. I really do. All right, so look up the note in the word table. Okay, so this is channel ID, the note table. So looking up the note. So this is reload note ID. And look it up in the word table. That's no. Look it up in the word table and save it. Save value. Now it's a minute 40. What's a minute 40? My explanation for that? Oh, I missed chat. I apologize. At least your day job has intelligence and output. Yeah. I have to run a large program that just to get a special print. Credit scroll. New explanation is like 40 minutes. Oh, the credit roll. Oh, you're timing that. I see. Explanation is like 40 minutes. Yeah, it kind of is, isn't it? All right, so save the value. The timer. Load up pulse timer high. Pulse timer low. Pulse timer. Right, the low I can just nuke. I can just because the entire byte is the thing, the value. I thought that well, people with high-level languages are leaving people in the dark when issues come up in code and they can't follow or understand. The languages and tools have come so far, as someone else said, spoiled! Yeah. I learned debugging, hex assembly, and networking protocols before I ever learned the code, and I thought that helps a lot. The fundamental level. Some learn from the bottom up, and others learn from the top down, I suppose. Yeah, so that's one thing I really hate with ASP.NET, is that everything is a black box. That, like, okay, it didn't work. Why? Duh. Look up the what you want and what didn't happen. Google it. Good luck. It's like I don't care for that. Like everything is abstracted away in my day job to the point of a black box for a lot of it, right? It's like, oh, you need to use this script manager to do this thing, and well, if you do it this way and configure it this way, it does it one way. If you do it this other way, it works a little bit differently, and it just makes my head spin sometimes. I'm waiting for you to start your new project so I can gift you elements. Can we get a spoil command? We can get a spoil command. I'll do that after stream if you remind me. Layers on layers on layers. Yeah, the abstraction is real, right? So, like, I have another website program that I'm working on in my free time. I'm working on with JoJo, and it's in a different language. It's not in ASP.NET. It's instead in Go. It's in Golang. And there, like, the abstractions aren't the same. I mean, they're there, but they're not the same. All right, the next movies are wrong, but yeah, well, I should probably have a command for the movie night code, shouldn't I? Yeah, I'll get to it. But yeah, so for Go, it's like, okay, here's the HTTP request itself. And okay, we're gonna go ahead and handle that request ourselves, instead of like, well, here's a page, and so this object is constructed outside of before the page is called, before all your code is called. All this object stuff is created and constructed and doing things, and you can hook into that process, sure, but you know, good luck with that. Instead of like, okay, here's a request, do something with it, you know. Which I think I prefer. I prefer the here's the request, do something with it, opposed to the, well, here's some objects that you can mutate, and if you do them certain ways, things happen. If you do them other ways, things don't happen the way you expect. It's like, oh, thanks, but why? Because reasons. Yeah. And I've got a coworker that very heavily drinks the Microsoft Kool-Aid. That so he's very enthusiastic about a lot of the Microsoft framework things, but I'm like, yeah, well, that's like a black box. I don't know what's going on there. So it's not a black box. Just disassemble. Oh yeah, disassemble .NET JVM .NET code, .NET machine code. Because that'll be fun, right? Which I can actually step through, by the way, on in Visual Studio, which is actually kind of frustrating because it's like I'm stepping through code, then all of a sudden it hits a point of code that like it can't find the source file for, so it drops me to assembly view instead. I'm like, wait a minute, this is not what I want. It's like this is like it disassemble the string class to do speed improvements. All right. What did I change here? I don't remember what I changed here anymore. Channel ID. Low wait, tower low. Note table. X. Does X still have the value in it that I... Yes, I think it does. I think it does. Okay. Not yet. No, I want to fix this first before I commit. Because I'm getting hungry. I should probably eat something, shouldn't I? I only had like a bagel for breakfast today. Well, a sandwich bagel thing and some coffee. I should probably... Okay, it didn't last very long. I think it's loading up the wrong volume macro for that, because that's happening too fast. And it's not doing the second channel at all. At all. Lovely. Fantastic. Okay. I mean, I suppose I can commit now. Yeah. That one, and that one, and that one. Still broken, but less so now. Yeah. I'm not going to be pushing this code to GitHub, by the way, so that's why I don't really care for the messages. But I'm gonna have a bagel because I'm hungry, so I'm gonna eat a bagel. I should probably order like real food today, but yeah. I would have stopped off at the store the other day, but the employees are on strike, so that makes it a little difficult. Don't exactly want to cross the picket line, you know? Alright, no worries. No worries. But, yeah. Alright, so why is this broken now? Again, why is it broken again? Alright. Notes at Y 29. Is that right? That doesn't sound right. No, store notes at Y. Still wrong. I don't think Y is the correct note. I don't think Y is the correct note. Or 29. It ain't. C4 in D5. D5 is the second one. Did I... That's the second one, right? That's why. Yeah, I get that. I can write really functional code, but omit object-based and reflection and so on. But struggle with sometimes because it seems like the more fluff that's there, it complicates. It just isn't very practical sometimes. Yeah. I'm not a daily programmer. It's not my day job. I do get it though. See how object-based helps in large projects. It can help, but can also hinder if you do it wrong. Which is what my day job, everyone on my day job is doing is, well, has done. They've done it wrong for a long time. So we have to go and clean up a lot of stuff, but also like continue maintaining and pushing updates to the current project or the current what's it? The current piece of software that we're working on, you know? Because you know, my boss is going, "Oh, we're gonna have XYZ by the end of the year." Are we though? Why are you saying all the XYZ stuff? Stop that. Don't promise what you can't deliver. Stop it. So, like at one of the things, like a conference kind of thing. Oh, we're gonna have this on mobile by the end of the year. And myself and like the rest of the dev team were like, ah, no! Leave me mobile by the end of the year. We don't even have it like on desktop yet. What are you smoking, boss man? You don't know what the kind of work that needs to go into that. So, but I digress. Yeah. It's a mess at work. We're, trying to fix it. And me and this other guy were hired roughly around the same time. And we're the only two that have been properly taught any kind of programming at all. Right? In any formal... what's the word? Yeah. The only people that have been taught formally at one point or another programming. Everyone else learned it on their own. So their coding practices are terrible. And they don't really use things like the way they should be using them. They just like throw things at a wall, and whatever sticks, they tape it to the wall. Who was taught formally? Myself and the guy I was hired along with. Yeah, he knows more C# specific stuff than I do. I don't know. My education is a little bit more broad, I think. Homemade fried rice. Ooh, you're making me hungry, Jojo. Why are you doing this to me? Now my bizarre adventures can begin. Yeah. Maybe I'll get Chinese for dinner tonight. I can do that, right? But, yeah. So he walks in, and he starts looking at the code, and he's like, what is this abomination? What is this crap that is running on these servers? No wonder it's slow and everything takes forever in a day to load. Because it's written like garbage. So, yeah. That's what I gotta deal with. Alright, 1B, that's correct. That's that one. But yeah, it's also that and the whole oh, we want to also talk to this API from this third party over here. We're just like, well, we're not ready for that. But okay, sure, yeah. Okay. I guess we'll do that, son. Alright. XLA 36. Did that roll over? No. No, it didn't. Yeah, that only goes to 5D, alright. So that won't roll over then with any of these values. Okay. Transfer A to X. 36, that's the index for the note table. Store Y in the channel ID. Transfer Y to A. Shift it. Store it in the offset. Okay, so they're both 0. That's fine. Look up the note in the word table. AB. Store that there. Okay. And the pulse timer low. The pulse timer high. And it. So it's 0. Cool. Load up the OR it with the note table thing. That's that weird address thing is there. I'm not sure why it's not a plus address notation, but it's not. Where is that? Load instrument, load note. That's like this right here. It's a note table +1 at X. Sure, now hi Bart. Oh. Okay. Y to A. Shifted a bunch. And X. Why did I clobber X? I don't need it anymore. Okay, I don't need to look up the notes anymore. Sound pulse flags. D. Okay. That was correct. Buddy of mine I came with went to college for CS and graduated. Immediately got a job debugging and fixing broken over radar software. A year later, he was still the main lead and making 6 figures. Wow. In my case, though, it took me a lot longer to get into the field than I would have liked. I blame my school for that one. My school didn't help me at all, and they started asking for money before I could finish my bachelor's. So I didn't finish my bachelor's. I'm still paying that off, by the way. Rotten school. They actually had the nerve. They had the nerve to call me up and go like, "Oh, we see you haven't finished. You haven't finished your bachelor's. You want to come back and finish that?" I told them, "No, because apparently I still owe you money, and you wouldn't let me register until I paid up. So unless you're gonna pay for my tuition, go pound tar." She wasn't happy with me. She was very eager to get off the phone with me. Very eager, but yeah. I'm still not very happy with my school, with what they did. Because a lot of it too. The part that really gets me is they taught me 4 different languages, but like the 101 course for all 4 of them. So I didn't even go into any of the advanced crap, right? So the first language I learned was QBasic. Here's what a number is. Here's what a string is. Cool, fine, whatever. I literally played Wolfenstein 3D every day in class. I kid you not. Every day. And I passed it with an A+, that class. First language was C. Yeah, they didn't teach us C. Hello, by the way, welcome. Zenjutsu. Second assembly, third C++, and that's all. Really? Wow. But yeah, so I was playing Wolfenstein every day in class. Every single day. And I aced the class. Because all I was doing was like, here's a string, and here's how to, like, do a loop. This is what a loop is. Cool. There's even one day, so the class was like, started at 5 or 6 o'clock in the afternoon. I slept accidentally through the first half of class. I woke up at like 5:30 p.m. I'm like, oh crap, I have class. I need to get to class. So I drive to class. I walk in. The teacher's like, hey, how you doing? Take a seat. He didn't care at all. And I still got everything done that day that I needed to get done. Like the classwork or whatever. Because it was so mind-numbingly simple for me. So then we go to the next semester or whatever. And it's, here's Java, here's what the number is, here's what a string is, and here's loops in Java. Okay, thanks. All right, fine. Loops in Java, cool. They look a little different than QBasic. Whatever, fine. Next semester, here's PHP. Wait a minute. Here's a number in PHP. Oh God. Here's a string in PHP. Here's a loop in PHP. I know this already. Semester after that, here's C#. Oh, this looks a lot like Java, doesn't it? It's kind of because it's Microsoft's Java. Here's a string. Here's a number in C#. Here's a class. What is that? I don't know. What do you mean? Teach me properly what this is. That teacher, that teacher, he was a smart guy. Couldn't teach to save his life. Couldn't finish a thought to save his life. He'd start explaining something, drawing on the board. C# was a good job. I don't disagree there. Thank you for that file. Appreciate that. But yeah, so he'd explain something on the board and write it down. And halfway through writing the sentence, he'll be in a tangent writing something else. It's like, no, wait a minute. Go back to the thing you started on. Finish that first, please and thank you. so I can grasp that concept. This is a string. It's just like every single yeah, exactly. So I had 4 like level 1 classes, 101 classes in 4 different languages. Yeah. My first language I learned in school was C, then C++, and then Java. I mean, so those are all similar, sure. Were they all intro classes for all those languages? Yeah, I actually learned, like, it clicked what a class was. The concept of a class finally clicked during the final of my C# class. That's not when when things should like start making sense, is on the final. That's not when that should happen at all. I did ace that class, by the way, mainly because an unrelated, like, not like I'm the smartest. Not that. Instead, there was all online classes or online tests or whatever, and then we had to use this special browser, whatever BS, this secure browser, to do the tests. But I noticed real fast that, like, if I hit like submit, it immediately knew if I had passed or failed that test, and it knew my score. It's like, wait a minute, how does it already know what my score is without talking to the server? So the whole like control U, which somehow I could get into, oh look, it just stores the answers here. Oh, they're all encrypted. Oh look, here's a decrypting function in JavaScript, excuse me, JavaScript. So I'm just going to write a simple for loop that I've been taught how to do in 4 different classes, and print all the answers to the bottom of the test. Oh look, I know all the answers to the test now. So I'm just going to get this one wrong and this one wrong. Oh look, I passed. Neat. Is it really cheating if you're using... I don't think so. I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no on that one. I didn't tell anybody else about it, but yeah, neat. So I found that like halfway through the semester too. So I used it on like half the tests, including the final. The Silvus, how you doing? Funny enough, we did object-oriented programming in Delphi in class, but we did not learn object-oriented programming. We learned how to add methods to a class and instantiate, and that's it. So that's kind of like what happened in the object-oriented class. You didn't like explain what objects were, so it didn't make any sense to me. So eventually, like I said, on the final, the way one of the questions was worded, it finally clicked of what an object actually is and what it does. Tronax, how you doing? Thank you. Welcome. At the end of my first year, take this custom framework, got the source. Now recreate a 2D game. Oh. Yes, so the game dev track, I was not on the game dev track. I was on the computer science track, the standard programming, whatever. But the game devs were apparently in even worse shape with the same issues, but like it was exacerbated. It was just worse. C was the intro to programming class. C++ was the intro to object-oriented programming and abstraction. Java was pretty much the same thing, but learning those concepts in Java. All right. So if you had to explain it, how would you explain what an object is and does? I'm not good at explaining things, but I can try. Even worse, I found out that a few weeks ago that you had to explicitly delete every object in Delphi memory leaks everywhere. Oh no! Teacher probably doesn't know either. Oops. So for an object is essentially a bunch of related data. And the class around that is how to interpret or how to deal with that data. I don't have anything here. Well, do I? I mean, I kind of have something I could... It's going to be an assembly, though, so it's not going to be very relatable, I guess. But I can, though. So I'll just show it on my NES, actually, because it's just easier to get to from there. Runner. Okay. I know you can't see it yet. Give me a second. Okay. So, if I were to use classes for this, I would have one eventually for the player itself. So that would contain some data, number one, like the position on screen, the animation frame, if he's running or jumping, that kind of stuff. That data itself. So that's the object part of that. But what is also in an object is essentially like a reference to how to manipulate that data, which is the class, the blueprints. It describes the blueprints describe the structure of data, and also a bunch of methods and things to modify that data in that instance. The class is for enforcing data access rules at compile time. Pretty much, yeah. To put it succinctly, yes. But where a bunch of polymorphism and all that stuff comes in, inheritance and all that, is extending that structure of data, as well as the methods and functions to interact with that data, extending it into something else. To you know, do an additional thing. So like a function here for the player, right, would be jump, right? The jumping part of it. So that bit of it, right? So that advances or it changes the position on screen. It changes the animation frame and yeah, just those two things mainly. And it does all the calculations for that, and it keeps track of all that, and it modifies the data itself directly, right? Or would modify the data. Thank you for the file. Appreciate that. But it knows how to handle the data. That's the important bit. It knows how to handle the data that it's responsible for. No. I don't really necessarily have that in assembly. I mean, I can organize things in that way, but I haven't really. No. But I actually like how Golang objects are crafted, and classes are crafted in Go, because it makes that more evident. Let me open up my movie night stuff real quick. I'll show you. Let's do chat room. So this right here is Golang. It's for my movie night project, which is up on GitHub. So an object is in Go is two parts. It's a structure of data, and it's then functions that modify that data, right? So this right here is the structure being passed in to this function. This function can only be called on that data. Yeah, so it's not like it's formatted a little differently than like C++ or whatever. But it splits it, I think, a little bit better. Thank you. I didn't. Yeah. Took me a second. So this, I'll go over that again. So this right here is Golang. This is for the movie night thing I'm doing. But yeah, so the structure of data up top, all it is data, just data, right? There's a list of things. It's a variable lock. That's another object there. Some queues, that's cool, or some channels rather. Some strings, another array, another lock. That's all that the struct is. That's the data. That's all the data that the object is. When you pass around this object, you're passing around this data. Yeah, it's movie night. You're passing around this data, but with that data, it's also got a bunch of functions that can be used on it. That can only be used on it, right? So here I'm passing in that pointer to that structure, to that chunk of data in memory. And this function works on that chunk of data. So, but yeah, so this is the chat room class in movie night. And that code is all viewable up on GitHub over there. I'm still hungry. I'm still hungry. Should I order something? Should I order something to eat? Instead of having like 6 bagels? Come on. There it goes. I don't know why it does that every once in a while. It just forgets how to focus. More bagels. Just down to BK Angry Whopper. Can't say it was good. I have Burger King a lot when I work. I don't really want Burger King right now. Why is this broken again? Oh, I need to finish stepping through this, don't I? Did I commit that? Yeah, I did. Okay. Alright, store that for later. ASLA, shift it. Not to offset. Fine. Alright, this is the second channel. Okay. Store Y. Channel ID. Channel ID. Transfer Y to A. Shift it. This is the offset. 2 is the offset. The word offset. We'll reload the ID. I don't need to reload the ID because up here, yeah, I don't transfer back. So I don't need to reload that. I am gonna comment that out there. I'll leave it in there, but I'm just gonna. Oh. Why? So that doesn't actually do anything. Doesn't matter. Look up note in the word table. Okay. Store that in the low byte. Okay. Load up the high byte and it. Why is it ended with zeros? Should that be zeros? I don't know. I think it should be. Store that there. Transfer Y to A. Shift it a bunch to get the flag table. Volume is the first one. And then tone low byte, tone high byte. Store that there. DD. Okay, so that's correct. Loads up some instrument stuff. Okay. Don't care for the button press stuff. Alright. Now here. Instrument volume lengths. I mean, this should all be the same, shouldn't it? 1E. So that looks correct. That's not what I want to look at. I want to look at this guy here. Yeah, 1E. That's correct. Oh, right, because it only loads up the first thing of that. That's fine. The first value there. Oh, right, and those are 2 addresses. Right. Okay. 1E, subtract 1. Or no, subtract the steps, the current steps. That's equal to 0, we're done, but we are not equal to 0, so we are not done. Store that in temp X. Store X in temp X. What is X? X is the current channel ID. I think I need to use the channel ID temporary variable for that though. So yeah, let's do that. Just a little bit clearer. Clear what I'm doing there. Hey, word offset. Okay. The macro pointer 8013. Okay, store that in the temp address. Load up tempx. That's over there. Okay. Load up the mask. Pulse 1 dB volume at X. B0. Okay. Load Y. The steps at X. Number of steps we've currently taken. Then we are loading up the current value for that step. 0F is correct here. Show that in duty volume. Yeah. Volume steps. Load the sound pulse flags and then rewrite the ones. That will need to change eventually, but it's fine for now. Loop next. Okay. This is for the second channel. Volume links 0B. Is that correct? Yes, it is. That is correct. Subtract the steps at X and 1. Oh, we do not clear the steps. When we load the instrument, do we? Is it upper or lowercase ID? We'll find out. Lowercase, cool. So that's why I was playing once and not again. Sounds like it's doing the second one for a split second. Reset. Over here, reset. Maybe not. Alright, well, I need to hit the bathroom real quick. I will be right back. Don't go anywhere. Alright, I'm back. Alright, so things are still broken because of course they are. Of course they are. I can't go to location because that's writing something. Okay, well. Hire a queue, I'll do whatever. Excuse me. Alright, so I want to believe that the the actual running of the macro is correct. Because I didn't really change that. What is incorrect, I think, is loading stuff into the macro. Or loading the macro itself. Pretty sure that's where things are breaking. Right? Right. Okay, so let's find out exactly what these different addresses need to be. So we've got volumes, volume steps, lengths, a bunch of crap in here. Let's see. So instrument macro, volume macro is sound instrument. Is that used anywhere? No. Why is that even in there? Target channel. I don't use either. Oh. Oh, you can't really see this very well. It's behind me. Instrument, vol macro, instrument. Okay, that's at least used. And not just like saved to, we're actually reading it as well. Yeah. Yeah. And this one I am using correctly, by the way. So it's looking at a pointer table in RAM. And the X here does not add to the address it finds. Instead, it shifts where it's looking for the address. So yeah. That is correct. That there. Vol macro, I'm pretty sure I'm using, yep, there it is right there, sound point of vol macro. Okay. Triangle stuff is not used. Can I just come with this out for now? Can, yep. Okay. Sound noise flags, the triangle noise flags, that you can count it out. Because that's not being used either. Never was used. Alright. Okay. So, when we hit A, when we load a note, we want a few things in there, in that note. In a few different places. So, let's see. Pulse 1 duty volume. That needs to be 0F. Actually, no, that's going to be the actual value of whatever of that we're sending to it, which isn't actually a 0F. It's going to be something different. Something F. There's no file name, whatever. Pulse 2. The volume should also be $XF. Pulse 1. That's not a 1. Timer high. All right. So this guy should be, what was it again? What were the two values? Pretty sure those values are correct. Down here somewhere. Volume lengths, volume steps, volumes, notes. And where is this stopped? It's not. Yeah, so it's not reading the second. I ain't reading that either. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Sound point instrument 1. Instrument 2. Boop, boop, boop. Yeah. Pulse 1 duty volume. Pulse 2 duty volume. Timer high. Timer high. Timer low. Timer low. Those don't actually change. Boop. Pulse 2 duty volume is read but never written to. Okay, so duty volume. In this loop. Duty volume. That's where it's ending it. I should be storing it back there though. Alright, first loop around, it writes the first one fine, whatever. Alright, second loop around, volume length plus 1. Oh, right, so this is plus, it's yeah, evaluated. 0B. That's correct. Subtract that from steps. Oh, I didn't reassemble, did I? Because I fixed the steps, didn't I? Pretty sure I did. Yeah, I fixed the steps, so I didn't reassemble. So let's try this with fresh code, shall we? Oh! Again, it did it only once. Okay. Why? Why did it do only once? Let's grab that as well. Wait, that's the first channel. Don't care about it. Second channel, volume lengths. Steps is still. All right, what is this? Load note? Instrument. Load instrument. Okay, so I guess loading instrument is broken. Gotta go. All right, the Joe Mega, thank you for stopping by. Appreciate it. You have a good night. Or afternoon, whichever it is for you. All right, so we're loading up the second instrument. And it should be... Where is it? Steps. I need to be loading 0 here. So why is it working before? Load A channel ID. No, I need to load Y channel ID. Load A to 0. Like what? How is that partially working in the first place? I don't know. It's happening too fast. No wonder things don't sound right. Normal speed, please and thank you. Guess what? It works now. Settings, right? I guess I accidentally hit like F9 on this screen, which changed the maximum speed, changed the speed. Or I guess I fat fingered F10, but on this screen over here instead of on this screen over here, because F10 is step through, right? What is F9 over here? F9 is turn on and off breakpoint. Okay, so it works now. That's cool. God. Well, at least I cleaned up some stuff, right? Yeah, I didn't change anything in the sound engine except, well, that. I didn't actually change anything. Didn't actually change anything. Is this on the... No. Oh, it is on I5. Cool. That triangle kind of... clean up some variables. Okay. There we go. So this I can get rid of. Delete that file. And there we go. Okay. All right. So now, where's the instruments? Back to C, C4 and C5. See, that works. Fantastic. So, all right. So now the next bit of it is, shoot, what is the next bit of it? Figuring out some sort of MIDI format, really. Yeah, figuring out how I want to load the notes. And do all that stuff. All right, well, my brain is shot from that, though. So I don't really want to do that right now. I just don't. Are there things I can fix over there? There probably are. I know you can't see the screen right now. Give me a second. Pretty sure this thing I can fix. What would you say is the most complex or frustratingly head-banging part of this project? So far, the sound. So far, I would say. Yeah, because the sound has a lot of pointers in it. And pointers are complicated as anything on in assembly, apparently. Just because of how you have to handle them and the addressing modes for the different different instructions and whatnot. So all the instructions don't have the same addressing modes across all of them. So here's a few instructions. Decrement X and decrement Y, they're implied, right? So you just have that. It doesn't take any arguments or whatever. It just does a single thing. Decrements the X register. This does the same thing, but for the Y register. There's other ones that where's LDA? This one here. It has all kinds of addressing modes for different things, right? So this one's like loading up a constant. This one is loading up a variable from 0 page, which is different than loading up a variable from an absolute address because of cycle count and byte count. The latter being more expensive. This is loading up a variable from 0 page at an offset of X, right? So you start at that variable and go X bytes forward, and that's what you actually load. Same thing here, but for absolute addresses for different variables, X and Y, or for different registers to look at for the indexing. And then these guys right here are the ones that are really kind of wonky. So these are loading pointers, really. It's indirect loading, or loading from a pointer. So the Y one, I think, is a little bit easier to understand. It looks at this address, and it loads that address in. And then it takes Y, it adds that to the value of the address. So if the address is hex 8000 and Y is 5, at the end of the day, we are loading from the address 8005, whatever that value is. This one over here works a little bit differently for the X. So it starts looking at this value, this position in memory. It's a 0 page position. It needs to be in 0 page, I think. Probably. Then it takes X and shifts that address it's looking at by that number. So it doesn't add to the address it finds, the value it finds. Instead, it shifts the window of what address it's looking at. And then, at that address, it loads up an address. I'm confusing people, I'm sure. And looks at that for the actual value. I'm completely lost. Yeah. So I think I have an example of this. Actually, I'm sure I do. Okay, so I have two pointers right here. The first one is 8004, and the second one is 8009. They're swapped around because of the endianness, so it's little endian. So 8004, 8009. This is a table of words, so each value is 2 bytes wide. So if I do a load A and point it to this address right here, hexadecimal 10, with X being 0, it will load these two values as the address to look at, right? But if I increment X by 1 and do the same exact thing, it will start at this address, hexadecimal 10, but add 1, because that's what's in X, it will add 1, and instead look at these two values for the address. So now you'd be looking at address 980, which would be incorrect, by the way. Yeah, so if I continue along that line there, if I have X2, if X is 2, and do the exact same thing, it will start again at hexadecimal address number 10, this one right here, but shift the window that you're looking at by 2. So it shifts where you're getting the address by 2. So we'll look at these 2 bytes here, 8009. as the address to look up the actual value. And that address is this guy right here. So it would load this one. All right, but if x was 1, it'd be loading... if x was 1 instead of 2... No. If x is 0 instead of 2... Yeah. It would be loading these bytes for the address, so it'd be looking at this address for the value to load into A. If that makes any sense at all. I hope it does. It took me a while to like wrap my head around this stuff. Yeah. But if we were to use y, for instance, and I had y equal 2, instead of looking at these 2 bytes, instead it would still look at these 2 bytes here, but it would add 2 to the first one. And it does roll over correctly, by the way. It adds an extra cycle, but it does roll over correctly. So instead of looking at 8004, it'd be looking at 8006. If that makes any sense. I hope it does. I hope it does. Perfect sense. Awesome. Cool. Because it took me far too long to actually wrap my head around that. far too long. But yeah, so I use this stuff in the sound engine a lot. Like a lot, right? So here's one. I'm ORing it. I'm loading up things in word tables here. I'm using the X one here. I'm using the Y one here. Bunch of indexing stuff here. But in the game itself, it's not nearly as complex. I don't have nearly as many tables for that kind of thing. I mean, the only one that I have that's really that complex is probably in the credits stuff. Because credits I deal with opcodes. Yeah, here's a Y. But I mean, I've avoided using the indirect X for the longest time. You'll notice that there are none in here. So this is another indirect Y, indirect Y, indirect Y, indirect Y. That's just indexed at X, indirect Y. Now, so that doesn't even use, that only uses one of the indirect addressing modes. Red and blue or blue and red. Oh, so I did it that way, Jojo, just so it screamed at me, so I knew if it was parsing correctly. That's all that is. That's all that is. So I've got some. Where is it? Yeah, I have some stuff here. So I wanted to make sure that it was parsing it correctly, which it is not, by the way. It is not. So this is supposed to be one color scheme. This is not supposed to be that color scheme at all. So it's broken, right? Yeah. Deedle, how you doing? Cyanox, how you doing? It's most common to have a pointer to an array than array of pointers. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, array. Yeah. So the X is the array of pointers, and yeah, the other one is a pointer with an offset, essentially a pointer with an offset of the address value. Yeah. But yeah, so I am eventually going. I have been starting to write my own syntax highlighting for assembly. But as you can see, it's broken. Like these are not supposed to be highlighted at all like that. They're supposed to be this color, this color over here, instead of this eye bleed color. They won't be this color eventually. They'll be the same color as this, as the red LEDs. But this is just so I can make sure that it's actually parsing correctly, the way I think it's parsing. But yeah. Pointer and offset is memory structure. They're both common patterns. Yeah. Yeah. But so yeah, like I said, for the longest time I didn't understand a lot of them. The difference between the two very well, and only very recently I fully grasped the indirect X addressing mode. So that's why I barely use it at all, if at all, in this game here, in the game code so far. So See, all the parentheses are in comments. Here's an indirect Y, another indirect Y, another indirect Y. Oh, here are some X's. But X is 0, so it doesn't matter. So I'm just using it as a pointer. That's the only reason I'm using that one. I'm just using it as the pointer. I'm not even incrementing X at all. I'm just leaving X as is. So I can just use this as... Why do I do it this way? Why not just use... I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, this is all 8-bit. I should qualify that the former is more common when programmed for the NES. Pointer to an array. Yeah. Yeah. It is more common on the NES, I think. But this, why am I doing it this way? And there's no reason to do it. Well, there's no really reason to do it either way, because for both of them, I just want that pointer to be something. I just want the value of that pointer right there. And LDA doesn't have the indirect only, the non-indexed indirect. Only Jump has that. Only Jump has the indirect that's non-indexed. And I wish, like, other operations had that, but only Jump has that. I guess maybe unless all you do is write compilers that are supposed to run on the NES. So there are some of those out there, by the way. There's Family Basic, which is a first-party basic interpreter on the NES. There's also a BF interpreter on the NES. This is not first party, by the way, but it is on there. But yeah. But yes, I do realize that those colors are ugly. That's why they're there, is because they're ugly. That is the only reason they're there, so I can... Yeah, they're ugly, they stick out really badly. Yeah, like these aren't supposed to be highlighted like that at all. At all. They're broken. They're just completely broken. Yeah. No, don't save changes. Yeah, so I need to figure out like a MIDI format. I don't particularly want to right now. Well, so what would a MIDI format need to have in it, right? So I would need like start note and length, really, or length until the next note, or beats until the next note or something, right? But I don't actually work on beats right now. Like, beats are not a thing that I do. I'm only looking at ticks of the sound engine itself, which I'm using as Beat Saber, not quite. Which I'm using as I'm using the frame as the tick number. So each frame it updates the sound engine, or updates the notes, the macros, and all that. Each frame it does that. The tick. But one frame is not one beat. That ain't that. A few frames would be a beat, right? Otherwise, the music would be way too fast. And I currently don't like keep track of any of that stuff, and I really need to do that. I just don't really feel like doing it right now. I just don't, and it's probably because I'm hungry. That's probably why. Yeah. Yeah, so you know what? I think I might call it for tonight then, for today, because I am hungry and I need to eat. And I got things working though. Food is my 42. Yeah, I got things working though. I got both of the pulse channels working properly and not breaking each other. Once I figured out that that the emulator was running at full speed. How you doing, Jismer? I don't know how to say your name without any vowels. How you doing? Welcome. I was just finishing up, but hello. I can talk for a minute or six. I don't care. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. Yeah. So, I don't know. Wealth of knowledge here. Cool project. Do you have any recordings of the beginning of this project? Yes. It's all up on YouTube, actually. So if you head on over to there, There's a playlist of just the NES programming stuff. There's also a few other things for like the Go projects I have. See you later tonight. Probably, maybe, I don't know. Oh, there's some stuff I do not want to show on stream. Game VODs. Now, where's my... There it is. Why does it do this? I want to see the list of just the... Whatever. Yeah, everything from way back here, October 2nd. That's when I first started the game. I started working on the game. And this back here is all like basic planning of what I wanted to do. And what, yeah, the first like 3 or so streams were just planning. There weren't really any code. It was just mostly planning. All right, thank you for stopping by, Steel Digital. But don't go anywhere quite yet. I'm gonna we're gonna go raid somebody. So let's see if we can find someone to go say hi to. So don't head off quite yet. Just come say hi with me. And everybody that I'm following that's online they're all doing art. Every last one of them. Okay. Is anybody doing science and tech today? Anybody at all? Well, there's a few people. What's the software dev for the 30? Well, let's have a look at this guy. I no idea who this is. He's making a game in C++. Yeah, art's cool, but I mean, like, it's a different, like, entire thing than what I'm doing here. So I want to, like, go say hi to a channel that, like, is at least related to what I'm doing here, you know? But yes, this guy, I had no idea what he's doing. Game dev in C++. Aside from that, I don't know. He has Python up though for some reason. Why does he have... Whatever. Yeah. So come with me to say hi to this guy. 8-bit pixel art? There it goes. Whoop. Did it? No, okay, I'm still waiting for the button. Kalimuk! Hello! I'm sorry I'm raiding now that you're saying hi. Yeah, I didn't see anybody that was doing pixel art real quick. I do. I need to start doing raid messages. But yeah, come with me to say hi to this guy. I'll be back on Tuesday or so. Yeah. Thanks for stopping by.